Hi. I don't actually know what kind of makeup look I'm gonna do. Also, it's nighttime, so I feel like the lighting is gonna be wonky. Okay, that's a little bit better. Sorry. Make sure the chat's up. Show me chat. There we go. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Miss Lydia Bennett. My day is okay. Went for a walk today, did some yoga. I don't do yoga every day. I do it like 2, maybe 3 times a week. Hi, Annabelle. Getting ready to film, which is why I'm doing this and putting makeup on my face because I filmed last week, but like it just feels like I haven't put makeup on in like 8 years, which is not true. I don't even know what makeup look I want to do. You guys are gonna have to help me because I don't even know what I feel right now. I kind of feel like just doing something really easy because I'm not really in the mood to put makeup on. I'm kind of like forcing myself to film. And just to feel like normal, kind of, I guess. So, yeah. Today hasn't been bad. I watered my plants. Well, I fertilized my plants. That was a good time. My nails are fine because I did them myself the other day. This is a boo-boo because I did blue chrome and I didn't really want to. But I had gel polish myself at home and I bought some poly gel. So I did a fill on myself. So they're looking not bad, man. This is me. I did this. I mean, again, I already had the base of the nail and it was just a fill. So it's not like I was doing brand new nails myself, but I'm going to try to hold myself over until salons reopen. Someone asked how the readathon is going too, and that is going well. I'm doing a reading vlog for that. So you guys will see my whole progress, but so far so good. I've been doing pretty good with the reading. Hello, Brienne. I'm assuming that's how you say your name. Brienne. I should put my foundation on first, actually. Let's do that. Because I already have a wet beauty blender. Hello, Angelica. Let's just do this and this. Hi, Jordan from Australia. Man, isn't it like a wholly different day over there? I feel like you guys are ahead of us, behind us, ahead of us, ahead of us. It's Saturday in Australia. Wow. Oh, time. It has no meaning. I just did a video on like books to binge read, so I would recommend that. What is my time right now? It is 7:30 p.m. here in the Midwest of the United States. How was your recent Mass Effect playthrough? I still haven't quite finished. I've played Mass Effect, like the whole trilogy, multiple times. I know I talk about this a lot, but in case someone doesn't know that. And I am on the final mission, and I haven't started it yet, of Mass Effect 3. I've just been milking it, like, the last couple of weeks. Like, I think I play it, like, 1 time a week. And I kind of have been doing that for a couple of reasons. One, because I love it, but 2, after I finish this, I want to start playing other video games that I haven't played before, and when I play a new video game, I binge play them. So I kind of don't want to play a new video game when I haven't, like, I'm trying to read. So yeah, haven't really been pushing myself to finish it, because as soon as I start playing new video games, I'm just gonna like play them all hours of the day. Hi, Julie. So yeah, I have played the Dragon Age games. I've talked about this before, but I have played the Dragon Age games. I haven't finished Origins, but I'm kind of not in the mood right now to play Origins. I'm like almost done, I feel like, but I just don't really like it that much, to be honest. So, but I like to, for what it is, and I love Inquisition and played multiple times. Someone asked me a question. I remember you being excited for getting the 9th from a previous video, and so maybe go get it. Did I miss your impressions? No, I haven't finished it. So I had to stop reading it during the great anxiety flare of the fall, and haven't really felt like super compelled to pick it back up. I mean, I liked when I was reading it, but I also, like, when you have to put a book down because you have anxiety, it makes it harder to pick it back up. So I'm kind of like, I don't really want to fucks with this right now, but I am, like doing some work with my anxiety meds, because I have meds. I've always had meds, well, since like 2015. I've had meds for when I'm having panic attacks to take when I have them, but I'm trying to get on something that is daily, so that at like a very low dose, that is like a daily anxiety med, like anxiety's versions of like an antidepressant, but for anxiety. Sorry, I have like dog hair on my like lip or something. So I'm trying to get something like that, and then I'd probably be more inclined to pick up things that might make me anxious. And the other thing about getting the 9th that I've mentioned before, I think on lives, but I really am not in the mood these days to read books that are like super polarizing that people are going to like attack you for if you love it or hate it. Like, I'm just not in the mood. Like, I'm not that invested in that book to be like, all right, want to get attacked today. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm tired right now, you know? So I'm kind of like, I think I'll like it when I finish it. I liked what I read, but I also, like, don't want people to fight with me over bullshit, really. How are your pets doing with the quarantine? Fine. My cats are next door, so I only see them once a week when my neighbor leaves. And my dog is fine. She's, like, having the time of her life. Have your patients ever found your YouTube? Not that I know of. My, like, clients and stuff, like, people I worked with. Not that I know of. And I don't talk about it. I mean, if someone were to find it, I wouldn't be, like, I don't know. It would be a conversation, but it's very unlikely that like my patients at like hospitals and stuff would find me. I'd be more concerned with like therapy clients finding me. But again, it's such like a niche thing that even a lot of readers don't know about, that they would have to be like very into both YouTube and reading. And it's just not something that you tend to find. So yeah, so it could happen, and it is like something that would need to be discussed, but I think I have a lower rate of being found than possibly other hobbies that I would do online. So I think I'm just gonna do, I reached for a like brown look, so I think I'm just gonna do like a brown smoky eye thing. It's kind of like my go-to when I don't know what to do. What are you currently reading, if anything? I am currently reading The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel, which is our House Salt Book Club pick for this month. So I wanted to get that read towards the beginning of the month. I just finished God's Grave, which I know a lot of you will be happy about, and I do plan on reading Dark Dawn before the end of the month as well. But I want to take a break, even though it was a cliffhanger with God's Grave, but I knew it would be going into it. So I want to take a break and possibly read this book, which is a pretty quick read so far. The Glass Hotel, I started last night after reading like hundreds of pages of God's Grave, and then read like 60 pages last night, and I'm up to page like 100 and something already, and it's only like a 300-page book, I feel like. I think it's like 300 pages. So I'm going to fly through this and possibly finish that like tomorrow, and then I might read one other book from the Owls before going into Dark Dawn. So we'll see. But so far I've had a pretty decent reading month. I'm also reading a contemporary romance on my Kindle, which, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm basically always now reading a contemporary romance book on my Kindle. Like, that's what I tend to read before bed, because it tends to be like not anything that's gonna like adrenaline pump me, you know? So The Selection is getting a Netflix adaptation. How do you feel about it? I feel like this about it. I haven't read The Selection, so I'm not super invested. But I'm like, of all of the YA shows that you could make out of YA series, why did you pick The Selection? Like, I get that The Selection's like pretty popular. I guess it's like the Bachelor dystopia you have so many series to choose from, man. Like, the Winter's Trilogy is sitting right there. The Remnant Chronicles is sitting right there. For fuck's sake, I guess you could make, like, the Infernal Devices, even though Shadowhunters isn't really doing super well. Like, come on, man. I just don't want to, I don't want to watch that. Any new release shows you've been watching that are good for quarantine? I'm not doing a lot of TV watching. The only thing I'm watching, and very slowly, is The Mandalorian. I'm on episode like 6, I think, of The Mandalorian. So yeah, I've been like slowly working my way through that. Especially this month, I've been doing so much reading that like I don't have time to like watch TV shows. Honestly, if anything, I sort of just want to like, I just want to watch Grey's Anatomy. And I know that that's like, but it's like my comfort show. But I also know that if I start watching Grey's Anatomy, no matter where I pick it up at, and I wouldn't watch it past like season 8, whenever Christina left, but like I would just binge watch so much. And I'm just like, I can't right now, man. I have other things that I want to get done. But do you have any reading habits, such as listening to music, eating a snack? Nothing in particular. At this point, I like to have like background ambient noise, honestly, for reading. So like yesterday I put like a crackling fire thing on the TV. I'll listen to like, actually on the Calm app, they have something called pink noise. I'll listen to that. It's kind of like white noise, but I guess slightly different sounding. That kind of stuff is what I tend to have in the background these days for like reading and stuff. Is this a prep for filming live? Basically, like I'm just getting ready and then I'm gonna film after this. How do you get yourself out of a reading slump? I tend to lean into it and don't force myself to read if I'm not feeling like reading, or like go for something that's like super easy to read that I don't have any high hopes for being like a great book. Because I found like if I'm in a reading slump that I tend to put too much pressure on myself to like find a good book to read to get me out of it. And it's really like if I'm in a slump, I just need to read like a 3-star book. So someone asked about angsty female romances. The only one that I can think of, because I literally just read it, is the female romance in God's Grave. It's V angsty is really good. I ship it. So I'd recommend that one. But other than that, there's not like a ton of angsty ones. Like I haven't read a ton of angsty female romance. The ones I tend to read are like just like more fluffy, I guess. How close are you to buying a Switch for Animal Crossing? Not very. My friends and I have been talking a lot about The Sims. So I'm like this close to buying The Sims. There's a code for the online download for like $5 for Sims 4 right now. And there's a ton, like I would want to buy the expansion packs, and the expansion packs are like $20 a pack. So like that sucks. And The Sims is the same way, where I'm like, if I play The Sims right now, I'm not going to do anything else in my life. So I'm kind of putting that off until after Magical Readathon. Like I'm really trying to not do anything else until Magical Readathon is done, because this is such like a good opportunity to get a lot of things done. What expansion packs would you get? Oh my god, so many of them. Like I don't know all the names of them, but like I think there's like the college one, there's the famous one. Any of them that involve like some kind of travel tend to be fun. I think there's one about like eating out. Like I haven't even, I played Sims a lot. I've played Sims 2 and 3. I played Sims a lot when Sims 2 was out. So like I know all those expansion packs, but now I know there's like so much more. And I would want so many of them, and I want like pets. Like I'd want so many. So yeah, and I'm gonna have to run it like through a external hard drive because there's not gonna be enough room on my computer. Like it's just, oh, gardening. Shit, man. Like I want to play it so bad. So many of my friends right now in the group chat are all just playing Sims. Like that's all anyone's doing. That's all anyone's doing. I have less desire to play some of the like magical expansions, to be honest. Like I kind of go into Sims to be like, I'm playing a contemporary story. You know, like I don't really want anything, as much as I would love to be a witch in the woods in Sims as well. I kind of just want it to be like, I'm playing a contemporary love story. Like that's all I'm doing. Like my Sim is kissing everyone and like possibly murdering her husbands in the pool. I don't know if that's still something you can do. That's what I do, man, you know? So yeah, I need to actually focus on putting my makeup on right now. But do I? Did you like Six of Crows better, or the Grisha trilogy? I I personally prefer the Grisha trilogy for my feelings, but Six of Crows is better written. So, yeah, but I like them both. But, like, my feelings are more deeply attached to the Grisha trilogy. Like, I think about Alina and the Darkling a lot as, like, two separate characters and together, but, like, two separate characters. I think less about the entire cast of Six of Crows. I think about, like, Kaz and Inej a bit, but, like, the level of love that I continue to have for Alina specifically, and then the Darkling in second place, is, like, top-notch. Have you read any Stephen King novels? No, and I don't plan to. I'm not a horror person. I know he does things outside of horror, but the ones that he has done outside of horror, I have tended to watch the movies of, and I'm fine with keeping it at that. Like, I love Shawshank Redemption. I love The Green Mile, which I'm pretty sure Stephen King as well. I'm just going to stick to that. I also don't want to, like, read a ton of hundreds and hundreds of pages books, because his books tend to be super long. Like, I don't care. Like, reading Stephen King is not a goal of mine. Would you ever do a live stream playing The Sims? I deeply want to do live streams, but I'm not sure I understand the mechanics of how to make them efficient. I mean, I guess it's like this, but I have to get probably, like, a camera to do that. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. But a live stream or something like that would probably be the easiest, because I've always been hesitant to do a live stream of any other kind of game, because I wouldn't want someone to spoil me for the game in the chat if I hadn't played the game before, but with Sims you can't really do that. So I would be intrigued and interested. What books do you plan on buying after you get your TBR to 0? I'll probably make a video about this when this actually happens sooner, because, like, closer to when that happens, because my mood will change for, like, what I really want to read. But in my head, I'm thinking that I'll probably get the first 2 books in the Sarah Beth Durst, like, Queens of Renthea series, because I have book 3. The publisher sent me book 3 like 2 years ago, and then I never got the first 2 books. So I want to buy those. I want to continue with the Great Coat series by Sebastian de Castell. I'll probably continue with like Words of Radiance, like the Stormlight Archive. What else do I really want to buy right now? I kind of want to, like, get through some series. So yeah, I want to catch up on some series. I'm trying to think of some other, like, not finished series that I have, that I don't own the books from. I'm going to go through my spreadsheet and be like, oh, these are the series that I really need to finish. Wow, you guys are asking so many things at once. You made good progress for your Owls Readathon. So far, so good. I've read 3 books, and I'm currently reading, like, 2 more. So, like, I think I'm going to get through all the prompts this month. I've been reading at a pretty good clip so far, so happy with that. Someone said or said that they would like to see me stream, like, Mass Effect or Dragon Age. I would totally do that. What's your favorite standalone book? The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Ooh, just got the Remnant Chronicles and the Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy after watching your Angsty Books video. Hell yeah, man. If you want just some, like, good fantasy romance, both of those are great. Like, good fantasy YA romance, hell yeah. Both those are good. Do you like ACOTAR? I don't like ACOTAR the book. I'm neutral-ish on the series. I'm going to keep reading the series, but, like, ACOMAF is the only book in that series that deserves rights. And then ACOTAR sucked, and ACOWAR was just, like, meh. And then I haven't read Frost and Starlight or whatever it is. So, but I think I'll read the later books in the series. Any good fantasy adult romance? So I haven't read any, like, fantasy romance. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of the fantasy that I've read that has romance in it, it hasn't been, like, a major player in a way that I'd recommend it as, like, a fantasy romance. So, yeah, but I do want to, like, try out some fantasy romance in the future to have that as a recommendation. Because I am intrigued, but I just haven't read any myself yet. Don't read Frost and Starlight. I mean, I'll probably read it, like, right before the next book in that series comes out. So, just to, like, have context, I guess. Oh, yes, I want to read that Fortuna Sworn book. Yeah. I do plan on reading that book for sure. Are you planning on finishing the Falconer trilogy? Yes, that's one of the trilogies. Like I said, I'll go through my list of series because right now I have like, I think it's something like 34 unfinished series. And I will go through and like buy the books from those series. Someone said, did I unhaul the Winter's Curse duology? No. Or the Assassin's Curse, sorry. No, I did not. That's still a series that I have kept on my shelves because I do still like it. Just finished Foundry Side and damn, right? It's good. I can't wait to read Shorefall. Probably won't end up reading that until next month, but it's good, man. So underhyped. People need to love it more than they do. How do you feel about the Red Queen series? I only read the first book and didn't care enough to continue on. Not book related, but how do you deal with grief and loss? Oh man, I could go into, that's part of my job. So one of my roles working at the hospital and working in hospice was being a grief counselor. And really the biggest thing is just like accepting those feelings. I feel like, and this is true of like so much therapy stuff, is just like learning to sit with the feelings and the discomfort and stuff is like the biggest part of like grief counseling, and just kind of being like, all grief is normal and all grief is like, there's no wrong way to do it and there's no certain stage that you need to be at. And yeah, and just like acknowledging the loss and not being like, oh, but someone else has it worse than me. It's like, that doesn't make your loss not bad for you, you know? So that's the biggest thing. Then obviously there's like little individual things, but yeah. Is it considered unprofessional to cry with a patient? It kind of depends on the situation. So basically what, and in hospice and like oncology, it's different because of the nature of what is happening. And it really depends on the patient too, because you don't want to cry in front of a patient or a client who is going to take that, take advantage of that. So like, I personally don't work with a lot of people that have like personality disorders, but sometimes people with some different personality disorders will use your like empathy and stuff to like twist things around. That's just how they operate in the world. That's not a judgment, good or bad. So I don't tend to work with those kinds of populations. So it's okay sometimes to cry, but again, it's so individual. And again, because I work in hospice and oncology, it's more acceptable actually. And just really like, I tend to be the kind of like therapist and social worker and whatever, that's just like is willing to sit with people and their feelings and being like, this sucks. Like this, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's fine. It sucks. So like feeling your feelings and having, as long as the client isn't going to turn around and try to comfort you, commiserating together and like having that empathy bond together is fine. So. Wow, your mom's a mortician? I can't imagine. I respect that career path a lot too, because I'm like, oh man, I don't even know how I could do that. Someone asked about us. Are you currently working or is your job shut down? So I am back home doing this whole pandemic hit at a weird point in my life that I almost feel like the universe like made this happen, because I came home, living with my parents temporarily, living off my emergency fund, which would last me 9 months back at my apartment, basically. So like had a plan with plenty of money to take like about a month off because I had a wedding I was going to beginning of March and didn't want to job hunt when I was having to leave for a wedding and all that kind of stuff. And get my license transferred over to Illinois. You have to take a test and stuff. So was working on all that. And then this happened. And otherwise, if I was still in Delaware, I'd be working in a hospital that doesn't have enough PPE, in a company that is not treating their employees super well right now, and basically having COVID patients like wheeled through the unit at all times. So that would have been fucking awful, and I'm really glad that didn't happen. So I'm home in a stable situation where I don't have to leave. I'm not looking for a job right now, and I'm not particularly worried about finding a job when this is all done. The whole like lineup of how I need to get my test still and my license, like that'll all work out when things reopen. It is a matter of kind of like how long will this last and will my money run out? I'm like, but now that student loans are being like put on pause, it's kind of okay. But trying to not lose my train of thought. But yeah, it's weird that like I was back already planning on like not being around a lot of people. But yeah, I'm not worried about getting a job because people are probably not going to want to get jobs in healthcare right away. So I feel like there's going to be openings there. Are you classed as high risk due to past health? I am not, but they're not completely sure. You know, with this thing being new, there have been reports of like cancer survivors getting hit hard. So like I'm just not, but like I'm no longer on chemo and I haven't been for a very long time. So like that is not the risk, but they're also like, you know, they don't know how this is affecting people. So that is kind of nerve-wracking, but I am really like not going out and doing anything. I'm getting my groceries. I pick up my groceries and that's the only time I leave my house and like even come close to other people. And I don't really, because I'm like in my car, I open the passenger side door or the window, tell them my name, and then they load it in my trunk and like that's it. So yeah, very much like playing it safe. Someone asked if I've watched The Vampire Diaries. I have. I haven't finished the show. It's a show that I want to catch up on. I watched halfway through season 5 like live. I was obsessed with it back in the day. But that's another show that I'm like, I can't start watching The Vampire Diaries again because I'll just get sucked in and obsessive and watch like 10 episodes a day and like not sleep. And like I just can't do it right now. So I'm just trying to, I really just want to use this time the most to get reading done. So Team Damon completely. Stefan I really liked with Catherine. So I was always like a Stefan shipper and a Delana shipper. And like that was where I sat with it. The Angst Man. So good. My first Tumblr was a mostly Vampire Diaries fandom Tumblr. Will you read Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas? I feel like this is asked every time I go on live. I will at some point, but I'm like not in a rush. Like I think I will. I will at some point, but like I don't know when. Like that will not be in my first order for books after I get my TBR down to 0. Like I don't even know when I would read it, to be honest. What are you most excited to read next? I'm pretty excited to read Dark Dawn. I think it'll be a good finale. I know you guys will all be excited to hear my thoughts and stuff. What else am I really excited to read? I'm excited to read a lot of it. I'm excited to catch up with The Expanse. Right now, all I can think of really is like Dark Dawn. I'm trying to think of my shelves and what else is on there that I'm pretty excited to read. I'm pretty equally excited about almost everything on that shelf. I'm excited to catch up with my graphic novels a bit more. I'm excited about a lot of stuff. Have I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? I haven't, but I do own it now because my friend Bethany sent it over to me. Did you finish all the Harry Potter series, and how long did it take? I have finished the Harry Potter series, but I read the first 3 books as a kid and the rest as an adult. What do you think is going to happen in King of Scars 2? I don't want to talk about it in case people haven't read the books. For the Mortal Instruments, do you ship Clary with Jace or Simon? I have not read the Mortal Instruments, and I won't. I am only ever interested in Cassandra Clare's historical stuff. Have you been drinking as much as me during quarantine? I don't drink. I drink like once every like 3 or 4 months. Like I drink through like a little bit throughout the year, but I'm not like a drinker, and I don't drink at home like ever. Some of my friends and I are thinking about doing like a happy hour together and having a drink. I do have like 1 bottle of wine at my house, but like I'm not a at-home drinker. Drinking is very much like a social activity when I do it, and when I do it, it's gonna be like, you know, go big kind of, I guess. I don't know. Like I do it for like celebratory stuff. Like I drink at like weddings or friends' birthday parties, going out at a bar, stuff like that. Like I'm not someone that drinks with like dinner. Yeah, I'll like go out and have like a couple cocktails, but yeah, like once every 3 or 4 months. So really like my drinking habits have not changed and I have not been drinking at all. What genre of music puts you in a happy place? It kind of depends. Sometimes, like, I want to just, like, sit and be melancholy, so I'll listen to, like, alternative stuff. I feel like sometimes some of, like, the dancey music does. So, sometimes, like, soundtrack music, video game soundtrack music in particular. Someone asked if I think Cassandra Clare is dragging out the Shadowhunter series. Maybe, but also I feel like she likes writing in the world. Someone said if I can get a close-up of my chrome nails. Yeah, so I didn't intend to have blue, but I'm also like, I'm inside, no one's seeing it, so who cares? But yeah, I have chrome powders because I used to paint my own nails at home with gel polish, so when I did this and fixed my nails, I did the chrome. And I need to actually, I have like a stack of these chrome powders. I need to figure out like which color is which chrome so that I can like plan personally. Does Brandon Sanderson have good character development? It kind of depends on the book. I think mostly yes. Some of his earlier stuff is like less so, but I think almost across the board, his stuff is decent with the character development. Particularly his like male characters. He does it better with the male characters than the female, but like the female ones aren't bad. Vin's bad, but... Have you seen Tiger King? No, and I'm not going to watch it. I think it's a kind of like media that I'm just not going to enjoy because I just don't enjoy that kind of stuff. So I know there's a lot of memes about it and people are really interested, but I'm like, I have so many other Netflix shows to catch up on. I'm not going to watch Tiger King when I literally could not care less. Have you watched Schitt's Creek? Yes, it's one of my favorite shows. I'm milking it. I'm on season 5, I think. 4? I'm on season 4 or 5. And I know it just ended, but I'm just trying to, like, soak it up. I am a Leo, but there's other things that are important about that. I don't actually have my, like, moon and rising memorized. I have it written down on my phone in case people ask, but we're on my phone right now, so I can't look at it. I feel like I want to have a deeper smoky under eye right now than I have right now. I haven't been able to read new books during this ordeal, just rereading. A lot of people have felt that way. Comics count towards your TBR? Yes. What's the longest your hair has ever been? I used to have hair down to like here, like boob length, I guess. That's usually where it would like kind of stop growing. What's your favorite eyeshadow palette? Really all of them I have. I have like the KVD Beauty Metal Matte that was limited edition though. I have a couple of the Naked palettes. I really like the Melt makeup stacks. So, do you consider audiobooks as reading? Yes. Sorry, I just like hate that question because it's reading. It has book in the name. Like, and to say that it's not reading is ableist completely. So it's reading, guys. It counts. I think as far as not knowing how to explain that it does count, I mean, literally kind of what I just said, like, it has books in the title. Are you saying, and the fact that if somebody really wants to argue that people that are blind or have any kind of like sight, you know, can't physically read, that they're not readers is like a very elitist thing to say. And it's just like, I don't even want to argue with you if you're going to really be like, it's going to be like semantics where you're just like, nah, it's not, well, you're not actually reading with your eyes. Well, what if someone can't read with their eyes? Well, then I can't be a reader. Like, shut the fuck up. like, it's the arguments that people make against audiobooks, like, counting are frankly stupid. So I just don't even, I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're an idiot. Like, Do you like your hair color? I do. I even have some like grays coming in, and I sort of love them because they kind of like highlights. I'm like totally fine with that. I would dye my hair like, I don't think I'd ever dye my hair like a different natural color. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be blonde. I could not be blonde. I don't want to be really like a redhead. If anything, I would make this more like ashy, I guess. Like almost like a ashier brown. But this brown is fine. I don't really want highlights. I would do like a more unnatural color, but I don't really want the maintenance of like an unnatural color. I have seen some that you can like scrunch in. So, any theory about where the Quarians are in Andromeda? That's Mass Effect and it makes me so sad. I don't know, because Andromeda to me at this point is like fan fiction. Like it doesn't exist. BioWare, you're so disappointing. Like right now, if that game was good, I could be replaying it during quarantine. They had to fuck it all up for me. I just keep blending this eyeshadow. Yeah, I could do like the biolash, but like I don't love having to like maintain color on my hair, to be honest. So the Darkling or Cardin? The Darkling. Darkling is so much better than Cardin. No tea, no shade. Any interest in the Final Fantasy remake? Yes! I'm so excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. I've been excited since E3, like, what? Over 5 years ago. I think it was like 2013 or 2014 when they did the teaser with just Cloud and the Buster Sword. I'm so excited. It looks so pretty. Coffee or tea? I don't really drink either that much, but tea is my preference because coffee gives me anxiety. Do you play on PC? No, because I've never had the mental strength to build a PC. It just takes so much research. I'm just nervous. I don't like spending money on that stuff. I'll just use my PlayStation. Although I really want a PC for the mods, but then I'm also like, video games suck me in too much, man. Like I will not do anything else. And if I have access to like Steam and stuff, like my life is over. I don't know how to like portion that out for me, you know? I've heard about people getting pre-built PCs, and I'm more tempted now because that's something that's like apparently not like, you can get some good pre-built PCs. I don't know. I just want like to date like a serious gamer and have them like build me something. Cause I'm just like, I don't know if this is good. Like, help me. Have you played Witcher 3? Yes. And I love it. It is so good. Are you excited about the Shadow and Bone adaptation? How do you feel about the cast? I've done a whole video about that. I've done 2 videos about that. Will you read Game of Thrones? Not until all the books are out, and I have heard from my friends that love it and have loved it before the show that it's better and worth it. What do you watch on Netflix? I have a whole list of things to watch, and right now I'm not really watching anything on Netflix besides Schitt's Creek occasionally, because I'm currently watching The Mandalorian. Yennefer question mark? Like, who do I love? Because yes, I do love Yennefer. Particularly game Yennefer more than show Yennefer. I actually just did a Get Ready With Me that'll be up tomorrow about my feelings on The Witcher show. So watch out for that. Favorite Schitt's Creek character? Oh my god. Probably David. But I also love Alexis like a lot. I don't identify with Alexis, but like I love her character. Like I saw a compilation of her saying David, and that's what got me to watch the show. So I love Alexis a lot. But David's probably my favorite. I just love him. Have you read the Witcher books? No, and I don't plan to. I plan on just keeping it to the games and the show. Try to keep my eye up so I can see if you guys ask me something while I'm doing this. Have you ever played Spyro? No, but I have friends that like love that game. I was a Crash Bandicoot person. It was a good time. Did you ever read City of Brass? I haven't, but that's a series that I do plan to start in the future. It's been on my like want to read list for forever. Crash Bandicoot was the first PlayStation game I ever played. It was the first like video game that I like owned. Like I got a PlayStation after playing Crash Bandicoot to play Crash Bandicoot. Like I had played like Super Mario on like other people's consoles, but I got a PlayStation console to play Crash Bandicoot. I have not played the remake. And I have not ever played Animal Crossing because I've never had the system for Animal Crossing. The only PlayStation, the only Nintendo I've ever had was the N64 back in the day. And I haven't had any other Nintendo system. I had friends that had systems, so we would like play like the co-op like games and stuff like Mario Party and like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But like I have not owned a Nintendo system in years. Someone asked if I like poems, and I don't really read poems. I'm not opposed to them, but they're just not something I'm really like drawn to. Ooh, I haven't put highlighter on yet. How dare I? Are you excited for the PS5 release? Yes. Although I probably won't get it for like a year. Like I usually tend to wait like about a year to get a new system because obviously they don't really have a lot of games out for that system, but they're usually making them for both systems still. So until everything kind of like switches over to PS5, I won't really get one. But I'm excited. Was your high school like those depicted in every typical Midwestern one of the movies? I went to private schools. So yeah, I had a graduating class of, it was the biggest so far. There's been bigger graduating classes since I graduated like over 10 years ago. But we had 125 people in our graduating class. We had chapel on Fridays. We had uniforms. Like, I just... So. Is Bug Nut Fest happening this year? We don't know. So we are kind of just keeping it on, like, maybe. Like, we're not officially canceling it because we're small enough that we have the ability to, like, cancel fairly close to last minute. Like, we're going to wait, like, a month before. And if we have to cancel, then we have to cancel. But the reason that a lot of these bigger events are having to cancel is because they are so big. They get people that are traveling internationally. And just like the level of what they would have to like worry about is so huge. And we don't have to worry about that. Also like the cost involved with the bigger festivals. Although our cost is big, it's not as big as those festivals would have to contend with. And like all the stuff associated with big festivals. So we're holding out in the hope, even though, to be honest, both of us don't have a ton of hope, but we're holding out in the hope that like maybe something will change since we are in August, end of August. So it's like, that's getting close to a time that like maybe, you know, like I'm just like, who knows? Stuff is just changing too rapidly to predict anything. So since we have the ability to kind of hold off and see, we're going to wait and see. So no official decision on that until closer. But yeah, we're realistic. We know that the odds are we won't be able to have it, but we're able to hold off and see. Any chance of pushing it back? I don't think we can really push it back because of how the hotel is booked. Now, granted, if other events have canceled things, then maybe we could. But as of when we booked the hotel, they already had like the whole year booked. You think social distancing will last till August? I think that we are going to have bouts of it. I have one of my friends from high school is actually an epidemiologist, and so I follow a lot of what she says because she knows what she's talking about. And then also what a lot of other like experts are saying. And I think that we're going to have bouts of social distancing until we get a vaccine. And a proper way to treat it. That's just how this kind of thing works. So do I think we're going to be in continuous isolation until August? No, but I think it's going to be just really shitty, and we're going to come out of it and then go back into it as things peak and valley until there's a solution. So I'm kind of like, in my head, the bare minimum of us isolating this round, I think, is going to happen until at least like middle of June. And I wouldn't be shocked if it went past that. My brain is locked in until like this is happening through May for sure. And I live in Illinois, so we've been doing it for a while now. But yeah, that's in my head. I'm like, I'm kind of planning for the most realistic situation and hoping, you know, like hoping for the best and being like, okay, like hopefully we can come out of this sooner than I thought. But at this point, I'm like, it's through May. It's just the way it is. I'm also like dreading the Easter weekend, like this weekend. I'm just like, I know a ton of these fucking stupid Midwestern people, because people around here can be stupid. Anyone can be stupid. But I just feel like there's a certain level of like, I'm not in the Bible Belt, but that kind of mentality where it's like, we're going to go have Easter anyway for God. And I'm like, God would like you to stay inside. Like, God does not need you to have an Easter egg hunt. Stay inside. So I'm just a little worried that like we're going to get a huge spike after Easter, like 2 weeks after Easter. I'm not going to be at all surprised if 2 weeks after Easter, it blows up more. So yeah, and I do think that when we do have the breaks in social distancing, there's still going to be regulations on how many people can meet up. Favorite genre of music is definitely like alternative rock, I guess. Alternative. They'll stay inside when their matriarchs and patriarchs will start dying. The level of selfishness is really aggravating. Yeah, and I think it's like, honestly, I feel like a lot of people are like so ignorant. Like, and it's not calling them necessarily like completely stupid, but I think like all of us tend to be like online and stuff. And so I think a lot of us know because we're like exposed to Twitter and seeing what's happening around the world. And I think a lot of people, like, if they're not exposed to it, they don't know what's happening. And are putting their heads in the sand. And I think American exceptionalism is fucking us up. And I know it happens in other countries too. Like, I get that. But there's something about America and the history of America and America being like, that can't happen in America. America's the best country in the world. And I'm like, on what grounds? Like, because when you look at statistics of like who's healthcare and who's healthiest and who has the best mental health and stuff, it's not fucking us, okay? Like, so us sitting here and just being like, because we say it, so it is. And I'm like, that's not true. Like, I think America is a decent country in theory, but is it the best country in the world? Absolutely not. Like, come on. So I think this whole like American exceptionalism, like, it won't happen to us. I'm like, viruses don't care where you live. So like, I don't know, like, and you know, we have to stand up to it. It's like, viruses don't care. Like, this is not a war like against an actual person, guys. Like, but I feel like a lot of people that I've like talked to or like heard from, especially older, are treating it like the Cold War or like, you know, any kind of terrorist event that we've had. And I'm like, this is not that. This virus doesn't care if you stand up to it by going to a bar. It's like, oh, looks like a real good place to live. That's what it's saying when you go out to bar, like, and like see your family. Like, it just is so stupid. It's so stupid. While I'm sitting here like, y'all, if anyone gets me sick, I'm gonna be so pissed. Yeah, they don't know how else to react to it, and it's sad. Yeah, I think it is a lot of, like, just ingrained, like, you know, yeah, like, my dad's generation is technically, he's, like, silent generation, he's not a boomer, he's before boomers, and he's had all this, like, war stuff throughout his life, so he's like, you know, you gotta stand up and show people you're not afraid, and I'm like, Dad, viruses don't care if you're afraid. Like, it literally doesn't matter. That's not how this, like, works, but they're so, like, ingrained to think this way about it, and through, like, you know, propaganda, you know, whether it was beneficial propaganda during, like, some of, like, the World War II stuff for, like, you know, America, go out and fight, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, they're so ingrained with this kind of message throughout the years that it's like, oh, no, we can't let this get us down. And it's like, it's not about getting us down. It's a virus. like, it's a virus. So, yeah, it enrages me. So, Acting like you can be patriotic about a virus. Right, yeah. And then someone asked earlier about, like, keeping church is essential. It's fucking stupid. Whatever your belief system is, your God, goddess, whatever, can hear you wherever you are. That's the point of them being omniscient. They can hear you. You don't need to go to church right now. God will understand. Isn't that the point of your religion? Whatever religion you believe in, that it's your deity is like forgiving and will understand that there's a virus. It's so stupid. Anyway, my mom has stopped going to church, thank God. She went like right before things started to shut down, and I yelled at her. I was like, you shouldn't have done that. It turned out that she was fine, but I'm like, you shouldn't have done that. And now like all the church services around here basically are online. Her church is doing something like you can go and get communion, like, and they're only letting one family in at a time, and it's like a 5-minute thing, and they're sanitizing everything and like whatever. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work to go in 5 minutes to get communion. So I feel like the roles have reversed, and a lot of us millennials have become the parents. Basically, it's so infuriating to have to like tell your parents like how this all works. Did you grow up with a Midwestern mindset, and do you remember that the first time reality hit you in the face, like in college? Yes. Definitely, like, when I moved to the East Coast is when I was like, oh, things aren't the same everywhere. Like, what? And it was just like an ignorance thing. Like, I just didn't know. Like, a lot of Midwestern cities are, like, fairly segregated, too. And, like, I had, like, a diverse friend group, like, ish, for as much as you can for, like, a fairly white part of the country. But, like, I didn't realize, like, how kind of segregated things are just from the way that the society set up until I moved to the East Coast, and I was like, oh shit. And then I didn't even really know that until I like got online, and I was like, oh shit, like what? So yeah, like I feel like everyone's ignorant until they are shown a different way. And like the internet was a big part of what made me like who I am, because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have exposure to all these other people. So I wouldn't know, and it wouldn't be out of being a dick. It's just like you don't know. Like if you get told information and then you're still a dick, then you are a dick. But if you learn from the information, you're not a dick. And I like to think that I'm not a dick. I finally convinced my dad to stop going to do the handyman work for our family neighbors. Yeah. I convinced my dad today to wash his hands when he comes home, because he kept arguing with my mom that he was using the hand sanitizer. And I'm like, Dad, I work in a hospital. Hand sanitizer holds you over until you can get home and wash your hands. And he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yes. Yes. But again, he's from a generation that didn't even have hand sanitizer. So to him, hand sanitizer is like this magical thing that like kills everything on your like skin. And I'm like, no, like it's soap and water. Soap and water. Someone asked, did I buy a bunch of toilet paper? No, we had like plenty because my mom tends to like overbuy anyway. Like in a normal situation when there's not a pandemic, she has like a backup of everything. So we were fine. And then now like we just try to catch it when we can. Like Pokemon. You're just like, there it is. Go for it. But around here, like the stuff has been empty, but it's not been like horrible. There hasn't been shortages where you can't get stuff. Like like you can get like toilet paper is out and it's harder to find. But like if you just go during certain times, you can kind of get it. And at this point, we're all staying home. If I need to hop in the shower after I pee, fine, like I'm just like, we'll get through this, but like the run of the TP is really like, I never would have thought that that's what would have happened out of the situation. Honestly, it's a little extra, but whatever. I just smell my perfume. I haven't worn this perfume in like months. Oh, it smells so good. And I don't want to wear it around the house because it's expensive as shit. So nice. That makes me sad. Is it stressful or cathartic to talk about it? I kind of think it's cathartic to like bitch about it. So I do. But like at a certain point, it's kind of like there's nothing else to say, Are you making a video after this? Yes, I'm filming like 3 things after this. I don't really know what all I'm filming, but I know I have to film. So if this was a plot line on a show, we would all think it was super realistic, but here we are. Honestly, our group chat, like we don't talk about this all the time. But our group chat, when we talk about it, we're like, one of us always ends the conversation with, I hate it here. Someone said, what are smells that you strongly associate with a specific time in your life? it tends to be like perfume stuff. Like, I mean, like, Cucumber Melon from Bath and Body Works is like grade school. And then like Tommy Girl perfume is like middle school. And then what perfume did I wear in high school? I think like Marc Jacobs Chance was like a high school situation. This perfume that I've worn for a few years, it's Replica by the Fireside, is like my current jam. Oh, I do have this still. This Burberry Brit is like early 20s. Yep. When I smell this, I almost smell vodka cranberries next to it, because I would like go out to the bar, probably drenched in this, and drink, you know, vodka cranberries, or like UV blue and lemonade, you know. So I have a lot of perfumes that I wear my perfumes for like years. So yeah, so this is like certain time period. So this is like 27 on is Replica by the Fireside, which is bomb. It's so good. Okay. Did you watch or read Gossip Girl? I didn't read them, but I did watch up through season 4 or 5. You're noticing a trend that I tend to stop on season 4 or 5 of shows. I was also obsessed with Gossip Girl, though. It's a good show. Very engrossing. Have you always liked doing your makeup? I didn't do it a lot when I was in like high school, but I started getting into Beauty Gurus in like 2013, and I've liked it ever since. I think it's fun. I don't wear it a ton in my daily life in general, though, but I like putting on like looks and stuff. Do you stay in your room most of the day, or do you move to certain other parts of the house? I moved to other parts of the house. We don't have a very large house. It's only a 2-bedroom. Both bedrooms are off the living room. It's not like a very big house. I love my house, but like my parents' house, but it's not a very big house. But I tend to spend most of my time in the living room during the day. I had to get very used to being around other people. Oh my God, February when I first moved here, I was like, I hate everything. So yeah, but I can't stay in my bedroom all day, because I was doing that at the beginning when I first moved home, and then I couldn't sleep because my brain was like, we do things in the bedroom, we stay up, we do work, we read, and then I was like, I couldn't fall asleep at night, so now I have to like go out there. Someone asked who I ship Blair Waldorf with from Gossip Girl, and I'm definitely a Chuck and Blair, for sure. They were like, I love Chuck and Blair, I love Nate and Serena, don't at me. I love Nate and Serena, so it's just what I wanted. Apparently that's how it works out in the books, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, I'm happy to be home because I am quarantining like with people, or like isolating with people or whatever. But there are days where I'm just like, I just want you guys to be gone, but I don't want you to be gone, because then you'd be out there like being near people, but like, and I wouldn't want to be just by myself and not be able to see my family, but like, like, I've gotten more used to it. I use my headphones a lot. I turn the TV off a lot when we're not using it, because my parents will just keep it on in the background as background noise, and I'm like, turn it off. So yeah, I've adapted, and I'll probably, like, by the time I move out again, because I was planning on moving out in like May, and that's not gonna happen. But by the time I move out again, I'll probably just be like, it's so quiet. Is the identity of the Gossip Girl the same as in the books? I'm not sure. Did you study abroad during college? And if so, have you heard of the Amanda Todd case? I haven't heard of the Amanda Todd case. I wanted to study abroad. I wanted to either, I think I was originally planning on doing Sydney, and then I didn't, because I am stupid. I mean, I don't know if I could have done it back in college. I don't know. I was very attached to my friend group. I was very attached, especially in my first couple of years of college, to the guy I was seeing at the time. So I don't know if I would have done that and have been in a good situation. I don't think I would have taken advantage of the study abroad situation to its fullest if I would have done it when I was in college. So Australia would have been so amazing. I'm like, part of me is very sad, but again, I just don't think like going now would be good for me, you know, like taking a tour through Europe in its time when we don't have a pandemic would be great, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Are you excited for the new Hunger Games book? I'm not really excited, just because like of everything that's going on right now. I wouldn't even say I'm intrigued. We are going to read it for the House Salt Book Club, so you'll hear my thoughts. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I want to read it. Like, it's not one that I don't want to read, like Crescent City, where I'm just like, I'm not going to read this right now. Like, I will read it as soon as it comes out, but like, I'm thinking I'll be disappointed, but I still want to read it and hope that I'm not disappointed. You know, I hope the whole premise of it is all just like an elaborate ruse. How are your plant babies doing? They are good. I fertilized them today, and I do want to post an update about them when they get some more growth on them. What made you pick the name House Salt? That is our Game of Thrones house name. When we were all in the Wisconsin Dells last June, we did a family vacation, as we call it, whenever we all meet up. And we decided, well, I made everyone do it. I wanted to get really cheesy family vacation themed shirts, which you might have seen if you follow any of us on Instagram. Like you do when you're on a family vacation with your family as kids. So, you know, how families will do like the family name or whatever. I was like, we need to do like a Game of Thrones, like our house name. And we had kind of already joked about how we're like House Salt, and our words are like, I said what I said. So we did that. So we made shirts that say House Salt on them, and like that's our theme. So it's our Game of Thrones house. Was Ninth House a good read for you? I haven't read it yet, and I don't know when I will. I talked about that in a video at some point. Favorite childhood vacation? My family didn't go on a ton of vacations. We went to Florida a lot. Destin, Florida too. Like not even like Miami or the Keys or like any of that. Destin. It's on the Panhandle. So we went there like every year. And that's what we did. I went to Europe myself with a group from school when I was a teenager for like 2 weeks, and I had to save up, and I didn't have a car for a while and like all this. It was a fairly inexpensive trip actually for what it was. It only cost like, I want to say it was $2,000 or $3,000, and I saved up for like years to do it because we knew we could do it junior year, whatever. So did that. That was like my favorite vacation I took as a child under 18. But childhood vacations, it was always like Florida. So gotta love that Florida. I didn't even go to Disney World. I didn't even go to Disney World. Where in Europe did I go? I went to Athens, Rome, Florence, Venice, Paris. Those were all of them. Yeah. It was a great trip. By the time I got to Paris, I was exhausted. And like, I remember sitting in the Louvre and just like not doing anything and barely looking at anything, which is a shame because we were just like so tired because it was like constant go, go, go. So yeah, but I really want to go back. I really want to go back to Rome. Was like my favorite. I would so go to Rome. Florida's overrated. I think most people know it's overrated in the United States. Go to Florida and not go to Disney. Yeah, I didn't go to Disney World until until the first year of BookNet Fest. As a late 20-something. Isn't that a damn shame? I used to joke with my parents that I never had a childhood because they didn't take me to Disney. Was it scary to be alone as a teenager on the trip? I wasn't alone. We were in a group. It was a group from my high school. Like a bunch of us went. So I was with my friend group. It was kind of weird to like not be with my family, you know? And like we had a couple of the teachers from the school went with us and stuff. And they were really cool. Like it wasn't through the school. Like the teachers, who were very cool, organized it. So it was like available to us, but it wasn't affiliated with the school and all of that. So yeah, I would never be able to go travel as a teenager and the kind of teenager that I was as by myself. Absolutely not. Do you have any siblings? I don't. Yeah, it was my French and my English teacher, like the two that did it. French teachers are great. Like They are so wonderful. What makeup look are you doing? I'm just doing this like brown smoky eye thing. We went to Costa Rica for school and the chaperones are drunk every night. Ours definitely like drank. Like they were having a good time because they would go like every couple of years. And it was a great time for them. They really did let us like get away with a lot. Like I remember I was thinking about this like just last night, so it's funny that we're talking about this because I didn't bring it up. I remember that like we went out because obviously like I was either 16 or 17 and we went out because you could drink in these places and whatever and get into clubs and stuff. And we met up with a group that had just gotten in from Australia. It was like all guys that had just gotten in from Australia. You know where this is going. And we hung out with them, but they were like super jet lagged because they had been on a plane for like 13 fucking hours or something ridiculous. I think we were in Rome and we went out with them and we didn't like have a chaperone, which is just like, what? And it was just kind of like, we trust you. And it's like, great. And so we went out, nothing like bad happened, but like all of the girls in the group ended up making out with one of the Australian guys. So I had this Australian guy, I don't remember his name anymore. I used to know back in like college that I like made out with the one night. It was a great time. I hope he's good. I actually was thinking about him last night in a vague way because I don't remember what he looked like. I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything. But I was like, oh, I hope he's fine. Like I hope he's doing good. You know, like do you ever think about people that like you don't know anymore that you're like, I hope they're okay. Like, you know, like, I hope you're thriving, sir. Like, you know, I hope the fires didn't burn on your house. I hope that, like, the pandemic is, like, you know, not affecting you greatly. I hope that you are very happy. I do that all the time with people that, like, I met once. So, yeah, it's a great time. That might have been one of the reasons I liked Rome so much. I don't know. Rome sticks out in my head as being just, like, great. I also just love Rome for it being, like, ancient shit being next to like modern buildings. Like it just fucks me up. Like walking next to the Colosseum and being like, there's modern stuff around here. Like what is this? Because of course like when you haven't been places, or at least this is what my brain does, my brain is like, that place looks the same as it's always looked, when obviously it doesn't. And it fucks me up that you like can walk past like all of these, you know, Colosseum type things and be like, this is next to a McDonald's, you know, like what? It's so weird. It's so weird. Life, man. Actually, I kind of want this out again so I can see. I have my lights turned down so that you guys can see me and not have me like washed out as shit, but I can't see myself. I mean, I can see myself in the mirror, but not for like fine details. So, favorite book of the year so far, Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. Oh my God. So good. That's going to be my favorite book of the year. Like, topping that book is going to be incredibly difficult because it was such a good finale. The arc of like, I don't even have any complaints about it. Like, the arc up through the entire series was great. The arc through the book was great. Everything in there was perfect. Like, I have zero complaints. So that's going to be my favorite book of the year, and unless something tops it, which I don't think anything will. Like, I think I'm really going to enjoy, I enjoy God's Grave. I think I'm really going to enjoy Dark Dawn. I don't think they're going to top it. It's so good. I still think about it. Like, it's actually one that I feel like I'm going to reread over and over. Like, just that one. I probably won't go back and read the whole trilogy all the time over and over again. But, like, that book, so good. Any recommendations for someone who loved Shadow and Bone? It depends what you liked about it. But if you like the kind of, like, Russian Slavic flavor to it, I think the Winter Night trilogy, I think Deathless by Catherine Valente, I think Uprooted by Naomi Novik, those kind of give me like a similar vibe. I think Truth Witch, which people were talking about, like in the Witchland series, I think is another series that can fill some of the same voids, although it doesn't have the same feel as Grisha does, but like I feel like it appeals to people that are fans of Grisha. So those are my big recommendations. Video recommendation, maybe a mid-readathon check. I'm doing vlogs for the readathon, so I'm doing a like two week. vlogs. Have you read the Ash Princess books? No. No real interest. I've seen them around. But it's so hard now because I have like so many series that I want to read and books that I want to read that I'm like super picky about what I read kind of now. Like, I mean, I aim for stuff that I feel like I know I'm really, really going to like. I know not everyone does that, but I do. Have you read Orphan Monster Spy? I've never even heard of that. Do you think they shouldn't have a kiss between Kaz and Inej in the adaptation? I think they should definitely. If you guys don't know what I'm doing when I do that, that's how you measure where your eyebrow should end. In case you didn't know. You do your outside of your nose to the outside of your eye, and then continue up, and that's where your eyebrow should end. Just so you know. Did you ever watch The X-Files? Okay, listen, Rachel. So I used to be obsessed with The X-Files, and I would watch, like, I've never watched it in, like, order or anything, but X-Files used to be on when I was in high school at, like, 3 in the morning, and I would, like, be up because I was an insomniac, and I would watch The X-Files, which is just, like, also literally why would I do that to myself? Like, you already are not sleeping. Why are you watching the X-Files? It's not gonna, like, soothe you. But for some reason, it kind of did. And I would just, like, watch the X-Files at, like, 3 and 4 in the morning. And then go to bed, wake up at, like, 6:30. And then go to school, come home at, like, 2:33, take a nap for 2 hours. And do it all over again. It's ridiculous. I loved the X-Files. I loved it. So good. But also, why? Oh my gosh. I do love, like, aliens and stuff, though, so, like, it kind of makes sense, but, like, man. And, like, I had anxiety in high school, but for some reason, like, it's sort of, like, I had it really bad in, like, middle school and the beginning of high school, and then it kind of, like, stopped for a while, because I remember, like, it didn't stop, but, like, it must have morphed somehow, because I remember watching the X-Files. I remember going and seeing some of the Saw movies in theaters, which, like, who is she? What? Like, some of that stuff, I would go to, like, I was saying about this the other day, there's, like, a local, like, you know, every place has, like, a local, like, haunted, like, in real life place. And there was, like, this weird graveyard, like, out in the country that I think I drove by the other night, but I forget, because, you know, I'm newly home, whatever. And we would, like, go to that at night. I'm like, who am I? Because, like, that's not who I was as, like, a child. That's not really who I am as, like, an adult. But for, like, a short amount of time in high school, like, I was that person. I don't know. It was very odd. Very odd. The Saw movies, right? Like, why? I specifically remember seeing Saw 3 in theaters. I also saw the Final Destination films, like, three of them in theaters, which is also, like, those are, like, bad movies, but, like, kind of scary too. Why would you see a horror movie in theaters? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. I don't know what I was doing at that time in my life, but, like, I guess thriving and not having as bad of anxiety, but, like, how, though? Because I wasn't in therapy. Like, nothing had changed. I wasn't doing any kind of substances at all. I wasn't in therapy. I don't know. Do I have a favorite Ninja Turtle? I never really watched the Ninja Turtles growing up. I was a Power Ranger person. So. Still can't drive behind lumber trucks because of Final Destination. Same. Or if I see, like, someone, like, towing a boat, fuck that. Also, like, any kind of electrical wires. Like, the first Final Destination is really, like, what fucked me up the most. Have you ever watched Veronica Mars? I haven't. I know. I don't know who I am. I know a lot of people really like it. My dad says horror movies slowly damage your brain. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like you get too much of that adrenaline, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I don't know who I was. I really don't. I only watched a few horror movies back in the day, but, like, I did it. Exposure therapy that I inadvertently put myself through? I don't know. What was it? Do you remember the first couple you shipped? I think it'd be Han and Leia. I'm pretty sure, from Star Wars, obviously. Because I watched the Star Wars movies as like a child. Like Harrison Ford was my first crush. Like I loved Han Solo. I loved Indiana Jones. I just loved him as a wee babe, and I still love him. I really do. So yeah, I feel like it was Han and Leia. Had to have been. I don't know who else I would have seen before that. Jedi or Sith? Neither. I like the gray Jedi. Both. Like, balance. Favorite Disney princess? I like so many of them. Like a favorite of like the Renaissance period is probably Belle, like OG, you know. But I really also like Rapunzel a lot. And I like Merida a lot too. And I know she gets like not a lot of love, but I do really love her. I love Jasmine though too. I love a lot. Which Power Ranger was your favorite? I love the pink Power Ranger. A lot. What color lightsaber? Purple. Ding. Love it. And the purple is like a very gray Jedi color, apparently. I've heard from like what people say about the EU. Were you looking forward to live action Mulan? I'm not sure. I love the Mulan like original movie, obviously. Who doesn't? But I don't know, because I'm just like, why would you take the music out? But I'm also like, well, the live action remakes haven't been that good. So like maybe taking the music out will be, like make it better. I don't know. I am a Samuel Jackson. I love his character. Yeah, because he's like I would love to be a gray Jedi with a dual wielding, you know, dual ended purple lightsaber. I've thought about this a lot. If I didn't have purple, I would probably have green. Maybe. But purple is where it's at, for sure. I'm done with my makeup. I just need to put my lips and my lashes on, but I still want to talk to you guys. So I'm not doing it yet. Because I don't like putting that stuff on and then not filming right away. Because both of those things are uncomfortable. Have you seen Silver Linings Playbook? It's so cozy. I did see it in theaters, I'm pretty sure. I think I only saw it the once, though. I'll end up cutting off my own leg with a double-ended lightsaber. Well, I really like the idea of it. I also like the idea of having, like, 2 lightsabers because in fantasy games, I tend to play dual-wielding rogue. So having them, like, I really like that idea, too. Thought about it. Netflix or Hulu? Netflix. I don't even have Hulu. Never had Hulu. I'm thinking about, like, is there anything on Hulu I really want to watch? I haven't even watched all this stuff on Netflix. Have you ever cosplayed? I have, but only as original characters, and I want to cosplay, but I know that the cost would be too much for me. For what, like, the level of cosplaying I'd want to do and the time and the cost required, they don't match up. I don't want the time and the cost. Said I'm not committed enough to do it. But I did cosplay. I used to have a steampunk assassin costume. Have you ever seen Parasite? No, because I don't watch horror movies. Contrary to what I was just talking about in high school when I did, I don't. So, no. Favorite fantastical creature? I'm really drawn to phoenixes a lot as a symbol. Makes sense, I'm a Leo. But I just like the whole, like, you know, burning to ash, starting over, rises from the ashes, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So probably my favorite. Do I have other ones that can even come close to phoenixes? I don't know. Who's your favorite Marvel character? Someone said rogue, so daggers or crossbow. I like dual wielding rogues. Favorite Marvel character? I have so many. I was actually like, I did a video coming up, guys. So someone asked me, and I forgot to answer, if I have any videos for my personal channel coming up. I did do like 3 tier ranking videos. One of them being all of the Marvel movies. So it kind of depends on like what era we're talking about. Like of the original group, I can't pick a favorite. I'm going to talk about like a ton of them. Of the original group, my 2 favorite are Captain America and Black Widow of the originals. And then of like the second wave, I really like Wanda and Vision. Duh. Wanda's probably my favorite of like the second wave. And I like, I always forget how to say her name. In Black Panther, the like general bald woman that is part of like the, almost like, she's not a bodyguard, but like she sort of is, like that warrior, like she's like, those three are like my favorite from like the second era. And then I also like Rocket and Groot a lot. Like I kind of love, like, I have favorites from like each like movie. Okoye, is that who's her name? Okoye, yep. Yes. So I have like favorites from each movie. So like my favorite character from like Black Panther is Okoye. My favorite characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are Rocket and Groot. My favorite, like the first gen, is like, you know, Black Widow and Captain America. I loved Thor, Ragnarok, and After. Thor and Ragnarok is so good. Like my baby. I just love him so much. I don't like what they did in Endgame, but like I love him a lot. Those are my favorites. I love Loki. Duh. But I actually kind of like him almost more when he like wasn't the villain. Someone just asked what about Loki. I kind of liked him. Like I watched a timeline of Loki the other day, and I'm like, okay, he looked like old when at the beginning, and now like with his more like luscious hair, he's like great. So yeah, those are my like faves. I feel like I'm forgetting people, but I think those are like my ultimate favorites for sure. I like Bucky too. The thing with Bucky, they didn't use him well enough. I don't ship Bucky in Captain America, which I know is like a thing that people would be mad at me for. But he's with Black Widow in the comics, so I'm like, I wanted them together so bad. So I'm upset about that. They just didn't use Bucky enough, honestly. Like he's not even around enough that much. You know what I mean? Baby. Like, I love so many of them. I was actually like, I was in such a mood the other day that I was watching people's like theater reactions to scenes in Endgame, and just like crying. Someone asked what I use for an eye cream. I don't use eye cream. I just put my like my moisturizer like kind of up near my eye. Although I was thinking the other day that I kind of want to use eye cream. I used eye cream in high school, but there's also like mixed feelings about if they're actually like not that useful. So I just want to see Bucky get therapy and an emotional support cat. Same. But Sebastian Stan is such a snack. Am I right? Like it's unfair. Like I loved him even in like Once Upon a Time. His character in Once Upon a Time is just like so like he's the Mad Hatter in Once Upon a Time. He's so cute. I can't get over it, honestly. Favorite lip color right now? I don't have like a favorite lip color. I'm gonna wear this today, which is great. It's metallic. It's from Black Moon Cosmetics, and I've worn it before. It's Eternal. But like I like all the lip colors that I own. For real, for real. I kind of want to like, I sort of want to emotionally buy a bunch of lipstick, but I don't need to. I kind of want to. You know what I mean? I really also want to buy some essential oils, like a ton. And I want to buy a weighted blanket. And I just really thought about the weighted blanket like today. And I already have some like added to my cart online. I'm like, do I need it? I've never really wanted it, but I have anxiety, but I don't really have anxiety right now. Like I'm not super anxious, but like I don't sleep very well. Like it takes me a while to fall asleep, and I feel like a weighted blanket would help me fall asleep faster. Is this true? Because yeah, like everyone I've talked to has been like they're life-changing. Yes, like literally all of you are saying they're life-changing. Okay. Do I need a weighted blanket? I just want to fall asleep quickly. You know, like, do you guys have any friends, or are you the person that falls asleep like fast? Like, because it takes me like sometimes like an hour to fall asleep at night. And like I do everything right. I don't go on my phone. I just set the phone in night mode. I don't watch TV in bed. I read in bed. I put my lighting on. I have essential oils. I also sleep hot, so I was worried about the weighted blanket situation, but I've looked up a few that are supposed to be like cooling or like not as like heat channeling. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it. I want to get that, and just like I want to buy like 10 essential oils. What is your go-to trash show? The show that I reference the most as being a trash show is The Vampire Diaries. I like it a lot. But most of the shows that I watch, I'm kind of like, they're all trash shows, and that's fine with me. Like, True Blood and Grey's Anatomy at a certain point is like kind of a trash show. I just like a lot of them. I also watch, like, honestly, since being home, my mom watches a lot of trash TV, like complete just fucking garbage. She just watches like so much of it. And I love Sister Wives. I love it. And I think the reason that I love it is that I want them to leave him and run off together. And I know that that's probably not going to happen, but I want all the wives to leave him and go off together and all raise the kids, because he's a piece of shit. But I love watching that show. My mom also watches a lot of like the Little People shows, like Little People Big World. Like, she watches a lot of like TLC, you know. Sister Wives are just good. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I don't like the misogyny, obviously, because he's an asshole, but I feel like all the wives know he's a dick. And they need to rise up, you know? I'm not up to date on Grey's. I've heard about the recent departure. The last time I watched Grey's was when Derek died, which I feel like everyone knows at this point because it was like all over the news. And well, the last time I really watched it was when Christina left, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapping out. And then I watched the episode that Derek dies just to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So. Oh, I also listen to rain sounds at night. I do everything I can for falling asleep. Do the weighted blankets help? I think I'm gonna get one. And also, like, I never know. Here's the conundrum that I'm currently having. I don't weigh myself. I don't weigh myself because it's triggering to any kind of, like, I had disordered eating behavior like a couple of years ago. So I don't weigh myself. I don't know how much I weigh. I know, like, maybe vaguely I could guess. So I don't know what 10% of my body weight is. And I'm not gonna weigh myself just to buy a weighted blanket. You know? So I don't know what size to get. I'm leaning towards a 15, maybe a 17, because I've seen some places have a 17-pounder. So I'm like leaning towards that. Yeah, I definitely want to get it from a place that lets me return it because I'm afraid that it would make me anxious as well. But I think it won't, because I'm a person that likes sleeping with covers, even if I'm hot. Like, I have to have covers on me. So I'm thinking that I'll find it soothing. I also used to sleep with pillows over my head. So I think because of those things, I'm going to like the weight. Adults generally want a 15-pounder. Okay. I will get a 15-pounder. It's cheaper too. They do help. Okay. I think I might buy one. So do a 15. Have you been burning all your candles? I haven't been burning them a ton because I like to burn my candles at my apartment throughout the day out in my living room with me. And I don't burn them in my parents' house because they're mine. So I don't burn them out there, and I've like kind of forgotten about them. So yeah, I haven't been burning a ton of them, but I've been thinking about it. Do you have a favorite comedian? John Mulaney. I know it's like such a millennial answer, but like he just speaks to my soul. I really like that he's not a douche, and that like he like doesn't use his wife as a punchline in a negative way in his comedy. I love him. I think he's so good. He has such gay energy, but he loves his wife. Yes. Yes. Ugh. Where do you buy your nails from? I get my nails done at a salon, but right now I am using polygel for fills, and I got that on Amazon, although I'm like, are you guys like feeling conflicted about that kind of Amazon shit? Because for me, I'm like, okay, I don't want to buy from Amazon because they're treating their people like shit, but I can't get things except for on Amazon right now. Like some of these things, like the gel for my nails to like fix my nails during this time, like there's not like beauty supply stores that I can like find. You know what I mean? Like now is not the time to be like trying out new stores online and hope that it works, you know? So I'm like, ugh, there's still times that I have to buy from Amazon, but like I'm not getting my books from Amazon. I'm not ordering books right now anyway. But if I was going to get books, I would use that bookshop website that they put together. I've bookmarked it on my Twitter. If you guys don't know, you can look it up. It's through IndieBound, and they're using like they've compiled a website to like support independent booksellers through this website, so you can order books online. So books I'd order through there. And like makeup, I would get through like the individual companies. But there's certain things that like you can only really get on Amazon. Oh, I hate them. I feel awkward going into salon because I have scarred fingers. I don't think that they like mind. Like salons are sort of like dentists in that they've seen everything. So I don't think that they're going to be like, ew, to like anything. Honestly, they're going to be like, okay. What about Wish? I've never ordered from Wish because I've always heard Wish is like fake. Is this true? I don't know. But I've always just heard it's like not good stuff. Yeah, Wish is hit or miss. Yeah, I'm kind of like, So yeah, I'm tending to order through like companies directly if I can, but it's hard with some stuff. Ooh. A lot of you have apparently had bad experience with Wish. If you don't like your nails, you tell them. Yeah. So I'm like, I come in with pictures. I know what I want. I'm like very specific. And if something isn't looking how I want it to, which very rarely happens because I always pick out my nail artists, like knowing they're going to do good work, and I tend to go see the same people and whatever. But if I were to see them doing something, I'd be like, can you take that off, please? Because the thing with gel polish and what they do with my nails is like they cure it after each like layer. So it's not like they're restarting the whole nail if they mess something up. Like I'm going to be like, take that part off and redo it. You know what I mean? I've never had an issue with that. I think it's happened like maybe once or twice. I've been like, oh, I don't like that. Like, let's go another route with it, whatever. And it's fine. Some of you guys are talking about like sanitizing your stuff. Yeah. So like if I do order stuff from Amazon, I take it out of the box outside. And then like if it's wrapped in like plastic or something, I like wipe down the plastic with like a Clorox wipe or like some kind of sanitizing thing, and then take the plastic off, and I'm washing my hands like intermittently through this and making sure that it's not like touching. And then I did order clothes, not from Amazon, from American Eagle, a week ago. And I washed those when I got them, didn't keep the packaging, all that kind of stuff. So today my parents ordered takeout, and so I like plated it up for them so that they're not eating it out of like the plastic container, even though there's no like proof of like spreading it through food and stuff, but whatever. Like I'm just like, take it out of the plastic. Yeah, I think our society will be cleaner, hopefully, when this is done. I mean, like, just the fact that, like, we've finally gotten people to wash their damn hands for 20 seconds is great. And I feel like there was just not the education that that's how long you had to wash your hands. Like, people, like, didn't know. Like, I knew because I worked in a hospital, so I'm like, I got this down pat. But, like, people just didn't know how to wash their hands for the longest time. Shaking hands just seems dumb now. Honestly, we should probably have, like, a different thing to greet people at this point. Like, I don't want to do it ever again. I know. I feel like what's going to be really interesting is when we do get let out of isolation for a little bit of time, because like I said, I think it's going to be in waves. Like, I feel like we're all going to be like really cautious about even like meeting up then. Like the people that care, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to be like, I'm not going to shake your hand. Like, if you go out with somebody who's like, I'm not going to kiss you. Like, I'm not doing any of that until we have a vaccine, man. I'm down for the curtsy to make a comeback. I wouldn't mind. We can all re-enter the, like, Regency period, you know? So great. I've been coping through watching, like, Regency romance. Like, I watched the new Emma movie twice in a row to get my, you know, rental worth. Only if men curtsy too. Honestly, that'd be so funny. I'd be down for bowing. Let's all just bow. It's fine. What did you watch on Emma? I did the rental for watching Emma. So it was like $20, which is why I watched it back to back twice in a row. The nosebleed in Emma is real. I know. It's so good. It's so good. What time is it? Oh, 9. Okay, I gotta go in a second. I love how you watch Emma for comfort and I watch the It movies. Stop. I watched the Pride and Prejudice miniseries today. The BBC miniseries is not my comfort, but the 2005 Pride and Prejudice, yes. I'm gonna put on lashes in front of you guys, I guess, because that's just where I am right now. I'll put on my lashes, put on lipstick, and then I'll go. So we probably still have like 10 minutes. If not, Amazon, where do you get your books online? Like I mentioned, there's like a indie bookseller. If you go through like IndieBound, they now have a website that you can order through, and it contributes to indies. Or you can just buy through indies if you have like a local indie that is like shipping or doing like curbside pickup or whatever. You just gotta do a bit more of your research. I don't have any local indies around here, so I can't do that. But IndieBound is the way that I'm doing it. I do want to watch Handmaid's Tale, but I don't really want to watch it right now because it's too close to home. We gotta get out of the dark timeline before I'm watching Handmaid's Tale, man. That fucked me up back in like college. Are you part of any TV fandoms? I mean, not like right now. Like I'm sort of nostalgically a part of like Buffy, Vampire Diaries, Grey's, Dawson's Creek, True Blood, Game of Thrones. We all could be rewatching Game of Thrones right now, and nobody is. because of how bad it was. Oh my god. But yeah, those are my main like TV fandoms. I was a little bit into the 100, but I haven't gotten far enough into it now to be a part of it because there's too many seasons. But I watched like the first 2 seasons. I want to watch it actually. RuPaul's Drag Race, yes, I'm really behind on that too. I'm not watching the current season. I haven't watched since like 2 All Stars back. Oh, Buffy, I can watch on DVDs. I own that shit, man. Have you ever tried Killing Eve? I haven't, but I want to. I do. I see the fandom for that, and I'm like, that looks very sapphic. I need to get on that. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. There's so many shows I have to watch, man. I'm never gonna catch up on shows. Shows are like the one thing that like I'm just resigned to not catching up on. Like I'm never gonna catch up on all the books either, but I'm gonna get to like a good spot with books. And like video games, I have faith that I will be able to like catch up on most things, but like TV is just never gonna happen. You know, like it's just, there's too much, and it takes so much time. It's just never gonna happen. Yeah, I've seen that Killing Eve is gonna premiere because my parents keep watching the station that it's on, AMC. So I keep seeing the ad for it, and I'm like, I want to watch it. I gotta open this. Okay. I think I put this too far in. Let's fix it. There we go. Yeah, exactly. I have too many other things I want to do to like also watch TV. I mean, maybe if I was like doing a puzzle or something. I don't know. It's hard to like multitask when you're watching a new show. You know what I mean? Like I can rewatch old shows and like do other hobbies with it, but I can't. Fleabag. Okay, I've seen like 2 episodes of Fleabag, and I plan on watching that after I finish Schitt's Creek. I can only be watching like one genre of like each show at a time. So like I will watch like a drama show and then like a comedy show at the same time. But like I can't be watching like 2 drama shows or whatever. After the Mass Effect 3 playthrough is done, what's next? I think it's going to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Part of me still wants to play Origins, like Assassin's Creed Origins first, but like I think it's going to be Odyssey because I own that one. Lashes, man, they're so good. Yeah, so I really want to play both the Assassin's Creed games. I want to play God of War. I want to play Outer Worlds. What other ones do I want to play a lot? Those are the main ones that I'm like high on the list. And then by then, if I were to play all those, which I doubt, then it'll be time for Cyberpunk to come out. So, did you like the originals? I didn't watch it because I can't hang with like the voodoo witch stuff. It gets a little too creepy for me, you know? Like the voodoo's a little too... So, yeah, I didn't watch the originals. Do you think you need lashes to complete a look? No. I wear them in videos, though, because you have a harder time seeing my lashes if I don't wear them. And I would get a number of comments being like, oh my gosh, your makeup's so pretty, but you should wear mascara. And I'm like, I am. Back before I wore lashes. My lashes just tend to, like, stick out. It's, like, pretty straight. They're just a pain in the ass. They look fine in real life. Like, I don't wear a ton of lashes except for, like, very, very special events in real life, like weddings and stuff. Even if I'm going out, like, maybe 30% of the time I'd wear, like, lashes, like, out to just, like, a bar. I guess if I'm just feeling, like, fancy, I will. But generally speaking, I'm not going to wear them to, like, most things. But I wear them in videos. So that you can see my lashes. Just, video tends to, like, need a different set of things, you know? Hi, Drew. I mean, Assassin's Creed really is just about, like, murdering people and stealing things. What brand are the lashes? They're the Ardell Demi Wispies. These are, like, the only lashes I use anymore. I do have some, like, House of lashes, but they're, like, so big. What's a good Assassin's Creed game to play after the Ezio trilogy? Well, like, I'm never going to be over that trilogy because it's, like, my favorite. But my favorite after that is Black Flag. I don't really like 3. I like Black Flag, and then I like Syndicate a lot, too. So they're different than, like, the Ezio trilogy, but, like, my baby, I love him so much. But Black Flag and Syndicate are my other 2 favorites of the series. Like, my favorite of all time for Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Brotherhood Revelations, but Brotherhood's probably it might be, like, Brotherhood, Black Flag, Revelations, Syndicate. And those are still at, like, the top. And then all the other ones, like, fall after that, you know? Have you ever tried magnetic lashes? I haven't, but I've seen them on Instagram, and I've been kind of like, should I try them? Yeah, and I haven't played Odyssey or Origins yet, so I can't rank them properly in the list. But a lot of people that aren't even Assassin's Creed fans seem to like Odyssey, so. Brotherhood is just, like, chef's kiss. It's so good. I mean, like, playing it now for the first time, you're probably not going to think it's that impressive, but, like, back in the day, oh my god, that game was just, like, unreal. Do you feel guilty for not working right now or grateful for how the timing worked out? Kind of a mix of both. I'm more so grateful because I would not want to work in a hospital right now. Like, I don't know. I would be working probably at this point if I had gotten a job here in oncology, and I think they would have been smart enough to, like, not have a social worker working and have me work from home. But I think it's just, like, I think the universe really was just like, you need to be here where it's going to be the lowest stress it possibly can be. And it has been. So I think I've been really lucky. Voodoo is religion. I know. But a lot of the voodoo principles for me, like a lot of mysticism principles in general, mess with my, like, anxiety and OCD a bit. So that's not saying that those things are bad. It just fucks with me because PTSD from Christianity, man. Being raised in Christian, like, schools and shit really fucks with you in a lot of ways. Gotta love that trauma. Have you played the Kingdom Hearts games before? I haven't. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to, but they've never been. I think they're also on the Nintendo systems, aren't they? Are they on PlayStation? I don't remember. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. It really is one of my faves. Any books you read recently and loved and would recommend during quarantine? I just did a video on binge reads for quarantine. How did you know your career is what you wanted to do? I kind of just fell into it, honestly, like social work and stuff, because I originally thought I was going to get into more of, like, psych, which, like, I mean, I'm in psychology kind of stuff, but, like, I didn't really know what I was gonna get into with social work, and then fell into like social work as an actual profession, and then obviously was very much like led by the universe to oncology with my own experience, and I'm good at my job. Like, I still do have imposter syndrome a lot, but I'm good at my job. So like, it's just kind of like, all right, here I am. I'm good at this. I can always improve, and I'm always learning, and like, I'm never gonna say I'm like the best, but like, I'm good, you know? Like, I've had enough people tell me I'm good that I'm like, okay. I still always think I can be better, and I still have like a lot of days where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm such a bad social worker and blah blah blah, but generally speaking, I'm like, I'm good at my job. Is The Night Circus still your favorite book? Yes. Always and forever. Just means a lot to me. Okay, this particular formula takes me a second to do, so if I'm not talking, that's why. The doe foot applicator is not my favorite on this, but I love like the actual formula, but the doe foot is pain. Because it's not really a doe foot, it's flat. And I don't like that for liquid lipsticks. I like having a doe foot that's like a little indented so it can like hug your lips. If you know, you know. I have not read the last 3 Shatter Me books, and I don't really plan to. I mean, I might at some point, but it's not high on my list of things to do. It's kind of there with Crescent City, where it's like, maybe, but probably not. I mean, I unhauled Restore Me a while ago, so I'm kind of like, I've given up. I'm personally just leaving the original Shatter Me series like kind of how it is, unless I really get a urge, I guess, to like continue. I don't think I will, though. I've only ever read the first one. If you want to continue, the second and third one are actually like decent trash pocket books, but like the first one's not good. Series you're most into trying out but just haven't gotten to yet. Oh my god, so many. The John, look, I feel weird I'm doing this. The like John Gwynn, like I think it's like Wrath, and some of these series I want to try. The Joe Abercrombie First Law. What other series have I not started yet? I love how I went for 2 grimdark books. What else? I'm sure I have a list compiled somewhere. My Goodreads like want to read. Most of the series that I want, yes, Malice, The Faithful and the Fallen, yeah. Most series I've at least started if I'm interested in them, and just haven't like finished yet or continued. Sorry, that was like a weird half burp that stayed in my throat. Love that. What other series? That Queens of Renthea series that I mentioned before. What part of your makeup is your least favorite part to do? I don't really have a least favorite. I kind of like all of it. There's no part of it that I really dread. Someone asked me another question that I found interesting. Where is it? Oh, any at-home workout recommendations? I'm not really doing like at-home workouts. I am doing yoga, and that's Yoga with Adrian, who is like very popular. And then I do want to try, what is his name? Shit. Someone recommended like on Twitter somewhere, this guy that does like very simple choreographed dances to like hits. It's called like Fitness Marshall, I think is his name. You guys might know who he is. He has like millions of subscribers. I'd never heard of him before, but I'm kind of tempted to do some of his stuff because when I was living in my apartment, I used to occasionally do something called like Dance It Out, where I would just like put my earbuds in and like dance around my apartment for like a song. And I feel like he does that with like actual choreographed dancing, but it's like really simple. So I kind of want to do those sometimes, but I haven't worked up the like motivation to quite yet. Someone mentioned eyeliner. I don't love eyeliner, but if you guys saw, I tend to like pat like eyeshadow on as eyeliner, and it's not that bad. Does yoga help with anxiety? I think it does. I think like the breathing and stuff really helps, and there's like yoga specifically for anxiety too that you can do, so I like it. Any kind of movement really helps with anxiety, honestly. Favorite pizza toppings? Black olives and mushrooms. That's it. And cheese, obviously. But like, black olives and mushrooms. That's what I get all the time. I don't like meat on pizza a lot. I mean, I'll have a pepperoni. I hate sausage. Oh, I hate sausage. Sausage. It grosses me out. And people are like, just pick it off. And I'm like, it leaves its taste on the cheese. Sausage is disgusting. Oh my God. It leaks into everything. I hate it. And I don't hate sausage on other things. Like I like chorizo, like sausage. I like I'll eat sausage and other things. Like I'll even eat like sausage dishes and whatever. But like on pizza, I just want to heave. Like I just hate it. I know a lot of people don't like olives. Like I get that. But I love them. Rain or snow? Definitely snow. I fucking hate the rain. I hate being out in the rain. I'm okay if I'm in the house. I hate being out in the rain. It makes me just like want to shrivel up and melt. Like I don't like being wet. Like I hate when you're like the bottom of your pants are wet. I just, ugh. See how much of a pain in the ass it is to do this lipstick because of the way that this like is. I have to like extra line them and stuff. It's a pain. But I still like this formula, so I do it. How do you feel about the Midwestern spring thunderstorms? I forgot about how they were. Like, we've had a ton of them around here. And I forgot like how intense they were, because we've been in the like basement for like tornado warnings, and we had hail, like quarter-sized hail the other day, and I was like, the fuck, because like Delaware does not have weather like this, so like I had forgotten, but I love thunderstorms. Like I will go, like if there's like an actual like lightning storm, I'll go and like sit outside like in my garage where I'm protected, and like watch them. I love thunderstorms, but like I forgot how intense they were, because I've been out of practice with them. Like I've been gone for 8 years, so. Yeah, it's nuts. But I was like, this is what it used to be like. And now it all makes sense because I used to be terrified of thunderstorms as a kid. Before I had my current anxiety, I was more like scared of thunderstorms, and that was like my main trigger. No wonder, because they're terrifying. Like as a child, they're terrifying. So yeah, it makes sense to me. Okay, I need to go because I have to film. It's like 9:30 at night. Ugh. Oh, I'll do it real quick. I'm from Delaware, and would you mind sharing where you used to get your nails done here? Nail Care Systems. They're kind of brats there. Like, like they can be kind of snotty, but you just kind of have to be used to it because there was like no other salons in Delaware that I would even go to. So yeah, they have a Instagram. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I will try to do more of these this week because I feel like I didn't really do any last week. So I will try to hop on like middle of the week next week instead of waiting so long. So see you guys later. I'm gonna go film. Bye.